Should you apply in round 3 in 2025? Maybe you planned for an early admissions round, but life got in the way. Maybe you only got your target GMAT or GRE score recently. Or maybe something made it imperative that you consider applying for an MBA right now. A job loss, a change of plans, maybe. Or maybe your results in the earlier rounds surpassed your expectations, and now there's this nagging question: should I have aimed even higher? Either way, here you are, staring at round 3 deadlines, wondering, should I go for it? Or would I be better off waiting until fall? It's a tough decision in any year, but in one of the most competitive MBA admission cycles in a decade, it's even more complicated. So let's break it down. What does applying in round 3 really mean in 2025? First, the harsh reality. Here's the truth: by round 3, most seats are already spoken for. AdComs have filled the bulk of their class in rounds 1 and 2, and now they're only looking for very specific profiles to balance things out. That means fewer spots, higher competition for those spots, and in many cases, no available scholarship money. If you're applying to a school that offers a round 3, they'll review your application, but it's not a level playing field. In round 3, the top MBA programs can afford to be extra selective. So, who should apply in round 3? Round 3 isn't impossible, but it's strategic. If you fall into one of these categories, you might have a shot. One, you're an exceptional outlier. If you bring something rare to the table, an unusual career path, an international background they're actively seeking, or an ultra compelling story, your odds will improve. Two, you have a time sensitive reason. Maybe you lost your job and that's accelerating your application timeline. Maybe your round 2 results indicated that you're much more competitive than you initially thought. Maybe there's a clear, compelling reason why waiting isn't an option. And three, you are not going to be crushed if you land on the wait list first, because more often than in any other round, in round 3, even strong candidates might find themselves on the wait list first. So, can you afford to wait it out? Now, who should probably wait until fall? If you fall into one of these categories, pumping the brakes until round 1 of the next cycle is likely the smarter move. Your application isn't airtight yet. If your GMAT or GRE score isn't where it needs to be, your essays feel rushed, or you haven't done the right networking, a rushed round 3 app is always a bad idea. You're an overrepresented candidate. If you're in consulting, finance, or even tech, especially as an international applicant, round 3 is an uphill battle. Schools don't need more of what they already have plenty of. You want options. Applying in round 3 means you might only get into one school if you get into any at all, whereas applying early next cycle gives you a full range of choices, including scholarships. So, what should you do? If you're truly ready, you have a compelling reason, and you fit a profile that schools are actively looking for, round 3 can work. But if your application could be stronger, or if you're just rushing because you don't want to wait another year, waiting until round 1 of the next cycle is almost always the better play. Because the last thing you want is to apply in round 3, get rejected, and have to reapply next year anyway. So ask yourself, can I realistically stand out in round 3? Am I okay with fewer options and maybe no scholarships? Will I be a much stronger applicant by waiting? If the answer to that last question in particular is yes, take the time. Apply from a position of strength. And if you need help figuring out your best move, I've got a full breakdown on round 3 versus waiting on mymbapath.com. So check it out in the description.